that last one there, does everybody kind of understand that last problem we talked about? If you're looking for results, yeah. Okay, so then another problem that they have is there's not standardized tests for every subject. So the main kind of subjects that are tested are like the science, math, reading, and maybe writing are kind of the big ones there. So like other subjects are going to be don't have a standardized test, so it's harder to measure those, or harder to measure achievement levels in those particular subjects. Problem that's kind of everywhere is student cheating. So if students are cheating, it's going to be a hard way to measure like how their actual achievement is doing. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, don't cheat. Makes life hard for everybody. Everybody see that? Okay. Last one here is going to be a lot of the times these tests or these tests is that word. These studies are measuring or are comparing teachers within the same school. So certain differences might be hard to find if every teacher in that particular school has good quality. So if that school did really well finding its teachers, it's going to be harder to find differences in their quality. So a possible solution to that would maybe be compare across districts within the same grade level, or something similar to that. a teacher actually has. Other ways to do that would be to maybe just to do like peer or student evaluations or supervisor evaluations even. Probably not as much student evaluations because most of these are elementary school kids. So that's kind of another way that people look at measuring teacher quality. However, like pretty much nobody only uses the evaluations. So what people tend to do is kind of a mixture of those evaluations with this value-added measure. Not necessarily the specific one, but a value-added measure, which is kind of a hybrid approach. If we use that hybrid approach, then it's going to be almost like a more well-rounded evaluation of the teacher quality, because you get a little bit of student achievement as well as kind of how other teachers and how like your supervisors perceive that teacher to be. One of the studies that was looked at took data from a large urban school district from grades 3 through 8 between the years of 1989 to 2009. I know those years. So after kind of separating out the things they couldn't use, the students they couldn't use and things like that, they had just under 1 million students to observe, and they observed those students for 6 years then. So the teachers evaluated in this study weren't evaluated using the value-added measure. They looked at a lot of like U.S. tax records instead to look at like both parents and kids' different characteristics, and the finding that they had for that particular study, looking at the value added for the teacher, ended up 1 standard deviation increase in the teacher value added raised the end of grade test scores by 0.1 standard deviations. So that's actually a decent increase for 1 standard deviation in the teacher value added from this result here. So this particular teacher that had a 1 standard deviation higher quality had circa statistics different. So So on average, these students with that higher quality teacher are gonna earn about 1% more in earnings on average at age 28. So that's kind of like comparing to that one of those graphs we saw before where they looked at earnings at age 28. Students are also 0.5 percentage points more likely to be attending college at age 20. So again, similar to those graphs we saw before, students with a higher quality teacher are more likely to attend college. These students are tend to attend higher quality colleges. So the colleges that these students with higher quality teachers attend is going to be higher in the rankings school-wise than some other colleges that students attend. Going back to the graphs, these students are going to be less likely to have a child as a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah, just a question. Are the results of this study based off the model that we just...
No.
No.
They used a different model, which isn't listed here, so I'm not sure what that model is. But they did use a different model. So yeah, back to the graphs. The students with a higher quality teacher are going to be less likely to have a child as a teenager. Okay, and then they're also more likely to live in a better neighborhood. So it's kind of cool just to see like extra things that good quality teachers can bring, like something as different as teenage pregnancy or living in a different neighborhood. It's kind of cool to see those differences just from the teacher quality. guys see that low?
That's while they're in school or later in life?
I'm gonna say later in life. Okay, anybody have any questions? Doing okay?
One, but I don't really answer it.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, it just seems like a big contradiction here, because all these studies basically say these value-added models are a very poor measure of teacher quality. But
Okay.
hey, look at these great results we get with good teachers.
That's a good observation. And you're right, I don't think I can answer that.
Well, okay, can I have a follow-up?
Okay,
I mean, everybody kind of, the modern research agrees value-added models are poor measures. There've got to be some components for them somewhere.
yeah.
It would be interesting to read something from a well-known and respected person.
That would be interesting. But yeah, so that is kind of a contradiction. So maybe we'll do some research on that and figure it out. Okay, anything else at this point? Okay. So, can I erase the model? Are we good there? Okay. Just kind of some other findings that they found. Some of the impacts that they did find were slightly larger for females than there were for males. Anybody have any ideas why that's true, or why that happened? I don't really have an answer myself. I'm just curious if anybody else has a thought.
What's the question again?
Why they found slightly larger impacts for females than males in this particular study.
Maybe because, I mean, most grade school or elementary school teachers are female, so they just tend to have
Oh,
more
that's an idea.
female students.
Okay.
Materials on also developmentally, one thousand earlier on.
Okay, that's a good thought too. Anybody else?
There is a differential in society between men and women. There's more potential gains for girls.
Okay, fair. And any other thoughts?
More female elementary school teachers, more teachers in middle school, elementary schools, so maybe they develop more mentorship and they can students.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe, oftentimes, like, females, like, in elementary and middle school, like, suffer from low confidence. So having a teacher that, like, they feel like after the year, like, they know a lot, then it impacts their confidence going forward in the subject.
Okay, I like that idea as well. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, and then another interesting result that they found that higher teacher quality is worth more in English subject, so like in the subject of English, compared to math. However, the math teachers have a higher quality spread. teachers have a higher quality spread. So I think that just means, more diverse, yeah. Okay, and then so those are kind of the main other findings that they had. And then so remember earlier on we talked about dropping the lowest quality teachers and replacing them with the middle quality teachers. So Hanushak in 2009 had a paper that proposed doing this and then did some research and did some math, calculated some math. And then he figured out that doing this completely accurately, dropping the bottom 5% of teachers and replacing them with the average teachers. If you were to do that completely accurately, you would be able to generate an increase of $267,000 in students' present value lifetime income per classroom taught. However, in reality, doing that, it's more likely to be closer to 190,000 rather than the 267,000 difference in student lifetime income. Does that make sense? Okay. And then yeah. And then so then another study looked at retaining a teacher at the 95th percentile. So if you got that good quality teacher and you know that teacher is good quality, you definitely want to keep that teacher, right? That makes sense. So the present value benefit of retaining that teacher at the 95th percentile is about $200,000. However, they also say that that might not be a good way to think about retaining the teacher. That was kind of a little confusing. That makes sense? At all? Kind of, yeah, okay. They also note that the teacher evaluation policies, that's still in there, yeah. So when they were doing the peer and supervisor evaluations, those evaluations could be better. Like they could find a way to make those evaluations a little bit better, to more accurately describe the teacher quality. Because they're not testing whether classroom observation might be a better predictor. So they could kind of adjust for that and figure that into those evaluations. So that, I think, is about all I have for you. Are there any questions at all? We were able to get everything. We kind of go okay speed.